Hello, Jesse Cox.
Oh.
What was that? Oh? Or did you say yo?
I said hello.
Oh.
Is it cutting me off? Do I have like a noise gate on?
I think you got a little noise gate action going on.
What the hell? I'll have to correct that nonsense.
You have that in Echoes as well. Anyways, hello, welcome to Forward and Back again at Coxtail. Jesse Cox, things have been set in motion. You were on a path. You were very close.
I'm not sure what to think anymore. Yeah.
Things have occurred. I think the last time we did one of these, I think you had just finished the main Stormblood story and you had it started 4.1. You just finished 4.4 last night. You're about
correct, sir.
7 or 8 quests away from Shadowbringers.
A lot's happened.
A lot has happened. One could say a lot has happened. Yeah. We're also going to take this this opportunity to fly around and get all the Aether Currents here in the locks.
Yeah, this is the last place that I need. And chat during one stream was like, you know what? Just get JP to do it for you. And I was like, that is a great idea.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Also, this area is an absolute worst. I would assume you have this one.
I do not. No.
Oh, where's it at? Oh, is it right in front of you?
Literally right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I can't see him. So yeah.
Right off.
Yeah, I'll just stay on the wedding.
I'll let you know.
Yep. So yeah, we'll go through the patches. This might end up being a little bit longer. The other thing that, and I'll preface this to you, and also before we discuss any more, I will state the reason why we're doing it before 4.5 is, as I told Jesse last night, and as people know that have played Shadowbringers, once you finish 4.5, there is no stopping. you want to continue immediately.
I'm sorry, did you say you are want to continue? Pray.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Return.
It is a thing. So rather than being like, Jesse, please stop, we need to record a podcast, we're gonna do this. Is there one right here or is it up top?
It is down overlooking that cliff right there. Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. All right. That thing might kill you. Oh, over here.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about everything that I did. I have gone through so much.
It's been a lot.
Yeah. After the end of 3.0, I was like, well, that was fun. Like, a lot of fun stuff happened. We did all sorts of things. And then the game was like, and now let's get crazy. And I don't know if we talked about...
We haven't talked about anything post Stormblood.
Really? Not even like Omega and Ivalice and any of that?
Nope. Oh, you've done Omega. That's right. Oh my God.
I've done everything. I did all of it. I'm blown away.
Yeah. Yeah. You haven't done the 4 Lords yet. Are you going to do that before you go Stormblood?
I'm not going to touch Stormblood. I'm not going to touch Shadowbringers until my little boy gets to level 70 on this sweetie pie right here.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
On my Dark Knight. And then I'm going in. Role play ready.
There you go. Is it here or up above, or where do I go?
I don't see anything right here. This could be the one that was like off the side of the cliff that I did get at some point, which I feel good about that.
Cool. Yeah, so I forgot. Holy shit, you did Omega, one of my favorite raids. That was great. You got to hear the chicken tenders, which almost became the name of this show.
Not only did I do that, but I also did the Savage modes.
Yes, I watched you
on everything but Omega.
Yeah, I watched you do Kefka and the fight of Jesus Christ. Now I'm blanking. X-Death.
Yeah, and X-Death and Neo X-Death or whatever. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
super fun. As a huge fan of both those games, that was a great moment for me. I was like, oh. So,
it's good stuff.
If there's one that's supposed to be over here, I think I might have gotten it already.
Cool. We will move on. Next one's this way. Yeah. So the first set of the 8-man raids, the first 4 set, that's the one that I actually did progression rating on back in the day.
Dalmasca, I think is what it is?
The one that starts with the worm, and then it has the girl, and then the final one is X-Death.
The Final Fantasy. Okay, yeah.
And I really like that one. X-Death was a complete pain in the ass, though. Just an absolute pain in the ass.
The intro scene where he switches between phases is the coolest effing thing. That was so neat.
I think I saw you get this one, right?
If there's one over here, I do not see it.
Okay, great. We'll move on.
Yeah, that was amazing. I was so thrilled when they were like, and now Kefka, and I was like, yes, like that was a great moment for me. Totally. But I saw that coming a mile away when the very first boss showed up, and I was like, this is that Final Fantasy VI.
They threw the Phantom Train in, which was kind of a wild twist. Like, how do you make the Phantom Train a raid encounter? But they did.
I love that even the characters in the game are like, I don't know what the hell this thing is that we're like, what this weird story is, because they got trains and they got all sorts of. Oh no, that's the one I need. Oh no.
Oh, okay, you had it. Gotcha.
They were like, yeah, I don't know what this game is. This is whatever this is that you're playing. It's crazy. I think that's really funny because if you play Final Fantasy VI, some of the fights you're like, wait a minute, what? I'm fighting a train now?
Yeah.
And I'm fighting paintings? What? Yeah, I think it's very cute that even the devs were like, it's wild.
That's very good. Yeah, I thought that that raid was fantastic. Both for like the actual fights and the actual story of Omega with Alpha and
Alpha was great.
Just all the characters are great.
Yeah, the last bit when you fight Omega and then you beat Omega, I was like, that was so good. I loved all of that. I think the Omega fight's great. I love once again that they throw in your good guy hero theme song in there.
Totally.
The once every expansion version of that song, and I was like, fantastic. And I had a whole night. Actually, I think it might have been 2 nights to get through all that.
Yeah, it was a lot. It's a lot. Well, you also did the Savage fights, which was a lot of learning and progress.
Yeah,
it was soft progression. I don't want to. The hardcore raiders are going to be upset.
No, I'm no progression raider. I'm not even going to pretend to be that.
This little Minotaur. This guy's buff. This is Krindor right here.
Yep.
That's the Krindor.
Well,
he's buff.
No leg day. Yeah, it checks out.
Yeah. I think it's like either here or right here.
It's right here.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm glad you got to experience those raids. It was fantastic. And the story was 10 out of 10. You can actually get that statue of the Omega twins at the end.
I saw that's online, and I was like, interesting. If I wanted more stuff in my life, I already got made fun of today by Felicia Day for getting a smaller apartment, so I don't know that I can handle being mocked by the internet more.
Wow.
But
Felicia Day.
She was like, you're in your 30s and you're gonna get a studio? And I was like, what can I say?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting an even smaller apartment than I have now, mostly because I'm like trying to get rid of stuff. So as much as I want an Omega statue, which looks amazing, I'm like, all right, I can't be the guy who's like, I'm getting rid of things, but I'm gonna buy that Omega statue. As much as I really like it,
sure.
I'm like, I can't keep giving away my stuff. Yeah, it looks amazing though. It's very cool, and I think it like comes with a thing.
Yeah, you get so a lot of those big statues come with a emote, I believe is what it is. Shiva came with one. There was I'm actually.
Right below us.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a sad story for me, but there is an Odin one, or there is an Odin statue. And it comes with an emote that I think goes for like a couple $1,000s now if you try to buy it. But I didn't know that it came with that, and so I got it, and then I just threw the box away because fuck boxes, right? Like I don't.
Oh no, JP, no.
So I don't have that emote, but I have the toy behind me. But I don't have the emote. Very sad.
My total sympathies.
Yeah, very sad.
Although because people on the internet give me bits and I spend them poorly, I could buy the statue, give away the statue, and keep the emote.
There you go. Well, no. So you can no longer buy that statue. It's actually not for sale.
The Omega one?
The Omega one is. You can definitely get the Omega one, yeah.
I may be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll think about it. You got me. I enjoyed all of that. I thought that was a great fight. Ivalice was like a lot of dialogue, a lot of talking.
It was so much. Even like I knew that going in and watching you go through it, it was still just like, holy fuck, this guy writes so much. It's because it was the original Final Fantasy Tactics writer that did that, which you played that game, it's kind of wordy, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like bad. It was just so much. Like there was an entire patch that I think was all dialogue. Right? Yeah. I was like, wait, where was the raid?
Yeah, there's a lot. And the raid was fine. Like the fights, they were cool. They weren't like super memorable. The final fight was pretty cool with Ultima. That was nice to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I liked all of that. I was blown. Like the first raid was neat because it was like, oh, what a cool location. The second raid was neat because all the mechanics were cool. And the third raid was literally like, remember those tactics characters? Yeah, you get to fight them now. And I thought that was cool. Yeah. So it was everything that I kind of loved, but at the same time, it was just a lot.
Yeah. It was, you know, it was serviceable. I don't dislike it, but it was really wordy. So it is what it is. I think this might be the final one that we're coming up on potentially. Is it right below us? Right
it
here?
Totally is. It is right on. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this thing without totally screwing it up.
Great.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful. That probably is the final
yeah.
one.
So after that, everyone was like, "Are you finally going to do the main story quest?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right, I will." And they flew by. They totally flew by.
Yes, they put a lot of stuff into those patches. We'll kind of go through them here, and I'll jog your memory because I think.
Thank you.
4.4 is maybe one of the most dense patches in terms of things that happen, and it's just like, oh my, especially after 4.3, and it's just kind of like, Jesus Christ, like there's just.
But it was like all good stuff.
Yeah,
the entire time I was
great.
blown away, but it was a lot. I was like, oh my God, the entire video. I'm sure that stream is just me losing my mind every 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll go through the different patches here. 4.1 was the Return of the Bull quest. It was basically Nanamo talking to Ralgor and just saying, hey, I don't need you anymore, jerk, dick, stop. I'm going to be mean to you, even though I really like you.
Yeah, when everyone was like, boy, Raubon seems pretty sad. And then you talk with him, and he's like, look, it's my duty to stay in Ulta. And then you and Nanamo come up with like a plan to basically, like, you go around with her a bunch and see the sights and sort of have like another day trip with Nanamo. And then you go and
Lolorito a little bit.
Yeah, Lolorito shows up, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll join in.
Yeah.
And then there's a really nice scene where Raubon and Nanamo have like a moment in the area where a man slit his throat. It's very sweet.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that man. Also, Fordola. There's some Fordoloing. She's in prison. People
was
are
that
pissed off.
4.1?
Yeah, that was 4.1. I think that was 4.1. That might have been 4.2.
I can't remember where the plot was, but like,
let me look.
Whatever happened.
Keep talking. I'll read this.
Yeah, so she ends up in prison, and the townspeople are like, we got to kill this lady. And then Lisa's like, no, she must answer for her crimes and tell us, where missing people are and all that stuff. And they're like, no, kill this lady. And then Raubon shows up and it's like, yo, calm it down. Everyone's like, oh, Raubon? Okay, yeah. And Lisa once again is like, man, I suck at this. And Raubon's like, oh, no, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. And everyone else thinks, boy, he should be in charge. And then
exactly.
Lise forms a council. She says that no one should sit on the throne. She forms a council. Yep. And of course, evil snake people show up. And they're like,
they're not all evil. Okay, that one in my
some
place.
Good snake people are there.
Oh, did you not have this
many
one?
of No, there's a lookout here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're all great. I've got a great Minder, rather.
Oh, is this not? Oh, hold on. Look out. This isn't it, huh? What is?
This is a lookout thing.
Kneel? Kneel respectfully. Pray. It wasn't there we go. It was a pray. Interesting. So what ends up happening is the evil snake people show up, and everyone's like, well, they didn't bring any crystals with them, so everything should be fine. And we invite them in, and apparently the throne room water has all sorts of crystal juice in it. And she summons, naked snake lady again.
Yeah, Lakshmi.
And we have a fight, and that fight was wild.
I like that fight a lot. It was probably the best part of that patch. That patch was a little slow, I thought. But that fight was good.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was in 4.1 or 4.2, but I think that's how it ended, is we formed a government.
Yep.
And the snake people were like, grr, we'll get revenge. And we ended up defeating the Lakshmi again. And that was neat. It was a cool fight with different mechanics because it was single player rather than a raid.
Yep.
And so you had to stop the Orbeez from hitting your friends and mind warping them. That was neat. And of course, after it was over, it was like, oh yeah, I guess we're all pretty cool. And
yeah, they kind of
everyone who stuck around sticks around because we're a permanent government. Yay!
Yeah, they like Fordola. You know, they.
Oh, I totally forgot. Yeah, at the
end,
never
forgive her for what she did, but they thank her for saving them. That type of stuff.
Yeah, I forgot. At the end of the fight, Fordola shows up, and she helps you out, and then everyone's like, "We'll never forgive you," and she's like, "I don't even want it."
Yes.
So, and I was like, "That's neat."
Raban says he's done. Pippin takes over the Immortal Flames. So now a Lalafell leads the Immortal Flames. That's canon.
As it should be.
If I remember, I think the community was like joke made fun of that, but also people were actually upset about that when that happened. I don't remember. It's been so long. Maybe I'm making that up.
Maybe just you. Maybe just you were really upset.
No,
like, how dare they?
Lalafell. I think Pippin's a great character. I like Pippin a lot.
Yeah, Pip's wonderful.
And then, in classic Final Fantasy XIV fashion, I think we need to get a shirt made that says this. Meanwhile, in the Empire.
Yes, meanwhile in the Empire. I don't know if this was a post 3.0 scene or not, but whatever
I can tell you exactly what happens for it, and then you can react.
Yeah.
So it was the one where the pair of soldiers are discussing the lies that Xenos was actually killed by being spread by the Eorzean savages. And then, in fact, one soldier claims Xenos was merely wounded, has been brought back to the Empire to heal. As the two scoff the idea Xenos would ever be able, a figure clad in white armor looks on from a distance. And then it cuts back to Kugane, and that's where Gosetsu and Yotsuyu, also now known as Suyu, show up, and they're alive.
They're like eating dango and having a good old life.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? Yeah, the figure clad in white.
Right.
I don't quite remember if that's supposed to be Elidibus or not, or if it was a different character.
This is one of those things where I will not comment.
Like, I don't remember if that was supposed to be someone different or not. But eventually, what ends up happening, at least in the Imperial story, just to cut through all that real quick, is Elidibus and the Emperor Varys, have like a convo, and Varys, maybe this has already happened at the end of 3.0, I don't remember, but Varys is like, hey, Elidibus is like, hey, I've got a plan, and it's going to be super evil, and you're going to go along with it, you big dummy, and Varys is like, grr, all I do is scowl anymore, and then Elidibus reveals himself in his mask, and Varys is like, oh no! And that's where it cuts there. And the next time we see them,
end of the main story, yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
at
and then
the post credits.
And then the next time we see them, Xenos is alive, and he's being treated for his wounds, and everyone's like, wait, what?
Right.
And then as it progresses, it's very obvious that, at least to me, I was like, oh, that's why Xenos is talking shit to his old man, because Xenos is clearly Elidibus, which is why Varys was so freaked out, because Elidibus stole his son's body and did, the Thancred thing. He Thancreded him and took him over, and so now he's going to use his son as sort of like a scare tactic. And then insanity happens, but I guess we'll get to that.
We'll get to the insanity. I'm also not going to comment on anything you just said. I have to be very careful in these.
Well, also times. the thing that also, if we're going to stick to the Empire really quickly,
sure.
The thing that also tripped my balls is that as we progress through these patches, there's like a member of the, I think that Alamegan army or militia or whatever, is like snooping and being really fishy, And then
Sure.
when you go to check on Xenos' body to see if it's there, I think in 4.3 or 4.4, whatever it was, maybe 4.4.
4.3 at the end of 4.3.
Like when you go to check and see if the body's there, there's like a dude like the same dude snooping, and then he ends up going to go look at the discarded Magitech ships and things, and another Alamegan soldier's like, bro, what are you doing? And this guy pulls out a freaking, I think it was a katana or some sort of definitely Imperial weapon, and murders this guy. And then he starts talking, and it literally is dialogue that would only come out of Xenos' mouth, which now I'm convinced that it's about to get crazy, because somehow Xenos he ghosted into this dude and took him over like an Ascian would do, but I don't know how that's done. And then an Ascian took over his body. So I can't wait to see how that story plays out, because I imagine that's crazy. And the last thing he did was get in a ship and head towards, I imagine, the Empire in order to get his body back. I think that's what's happening, but I have no effing clue.
That is indeed a recap of the Meanwhile the Empire stuff. At least
that's
one
Meanwhile
aspect
the
of
Empire.
it. Yeah, at least one aspect of it. It was great to see a reaction, specifically to the 4.3 stuff where the katana wielding resistance soldier says those words. I just watched that right before we started recording, and you freaked the fuck out.
I love Xenos.
I love him too.
as
I love the character. I think he's great. He's so one
as
note,
a character,
but like, it works.
He's the perfect foil for you, because you as the hero are so fucking one note. You are, there's not, like, you are, at least for little JC, he's so upbeat and positive, and everything he does is just like, even when there was one fight, damn, I don't remember what it was. It might have been Omega.
Okay.
I think one of the fights that takes place, you go up against the villain. I think it might have been the end of the Omega fight, when Omega kind of like reaches into your soul to figure out why you're such a badass, like why you have the heart to keep fighting. And Omega, I think, is just like, oh my god, everything you know is tragedy. Why are you so happy? And even in the cutscene, little JC is just like, smile. It's hilarious. And I'm like, this little guy cannot be phased. He's all positivity all the time.
Yeah.
And
he's seen some shit.
Yeah, even when he's seen some shit, he's all heart. And so I love the idea that there's a one-note villain that is like you. It's you and me in the end. I so hope. Before, I had all these dreams of like, man, I love me a good Nero final villain thing. But that's like silly and makes no sense, and it's just a goof. But I'm hoping against hope that whatever the final, like, I don't know, was it 6.0 is the next thing? 5.0. Shadowbringers, whatever.
Shadowbringers is
like
5.0, yeah.
Whatever, at some point, whenever this story pays off, I truly, because I honestly still have no idea what the hell Shadowbringers is about. I couldn't even begin to tell you.
Which is great. Yeah, we're going to get to that soon, because it's great.
I don't even, like, and this is what we said at the end of Heaven's Ward. I was like, I have no idea what Stormblood is about. Couldn't even tell. Like, the way they tell the story, I'm like, I don't know what's about to happen. And that's where I'm at now, but I'm definitely hoping that because Xenos is that guy who's so one note and all he wants to do is have like one great fight against like a good enemy, and you're the only, like, you're his only, I don't want to say friend, but like you're the only person he's like, I love this dude. He's like, he's like super into you, because it's like a Joker Batman thing.
Yeah.
Like if they weren't enemies, they'd be smooching. Yeah, and it's hilarious, and I love it, and I want more of it, and I'm so excited that, like, I love the idea that even Death, he was like, no way, I'm coming back for your ass. I think that's hilarious and amazing and so tropey, and I'm in, 200% in.
It's good. It's good for sure. Yeah, okay. So meanwhile in the Empire, that's all happening. Back in reality, 4.2 happened. The patch entitled Rise of the New Sun. And this one was it was fine. I don't know. I'll try to.
What happened in this one?
4.2 is the patch.
About?
Yeah.
So much happened. What happened in 4.2?
4.2 is where it starts off that Hancock is in Kurogane and he starts to talk about how he's seen Gosetsu and Yotsuyu. So.
Is this when we go? This when we go hunt them down because we're trying to. So the entire patch, at least as I remember, is us trying to hunt down the two of them to figure out what had happened.
Correct. Yeah.
And we discover that Tsuyu is like mind broken. I believe that's what they said in the game.
Yeah, she's got like PTSD, amnesia, or I don't know if they ever like clinically said what it was off the top of my head, but yeah,
I'm pretty sure they said she was mind broke, which I'm, if you're on the internet, that's a different thing, but that's apparently what they said about her, and she is a child now. I guess she reverted to when she was younger before her parents did terrible things to her.
Oh god, her parents are all just awful, just the worst.
Yeah. And so, I guess Gosetsu sees her kind of as the daughter he lost. And so he's taking care of her. And it never really truly is explained why he's doing it, but I think that's like the vibe. And there's even a conversation later on where they talk about it, but we never really get the answer. And so you find them, and I can't remember if... Was there a dungeon or raid in the thing? I can't remember.
This is the patch where you meet Asahi.
Asahi?
Yeah, Asahi.
The alcohol boy. The literal beer man.
Yeah. Yotsuyu's stepbrother. And he kind of, pops in and says, hey, what's up? I think there was like a scenario fight with him where he like planted the wolves. Or no, sorry, the red
Kojin?
Kojin or whatever to attack you. Yeah.
They never say that, but it definitely seems like he showed up at he's like, oh yes, I would like to go this way. Oh, and it definitely feels like that's what occurred. So yeah, I'm down with you that he set that up.
Yeah, I don't know if that was necessarily stated, but it felt
but
like
he shows up in Doma and is like, look, Lord Hien, I will give you all of our Doman prisoners, conscripts, if you give us the prisoners you have and my sister. And Hien's like, dude, your sister is messed up. She doesn't even know that she's her. We want to keep her here and protect her. And he's like, well, look, if before the trade she regains her memory, then she's coming with me. And he's like, all right. And of course, the brother gives her a gift before he leaves. And it's this weird mirror. And she looks into it and kind of has some weird flashbacks of her previous life. And I think that's where that patch ended. I can't remember if there was a dungeon.
Well,
I keep trying, but I don't remember.
No, I don't think there was a dungeon. What happens at the end is they go to like see Asahi off, and he says, "Can I speak to you alone?"
That's right.
And then he just says, like, "By the way, you killed Xenos, and I was his biggest fan, you asshole."
Yeah, he's the definition. The more he talks, and the more they have scenes with him. I had the revelation that this must be what it's like to be a woman on the internet. Because this guy cannot let go.
He can't.
He is crazy. I'm like, this is the guy who was like in Xenos' DMs, just like, so, I am a nice guy, and I feel like you and I can be really good friends. And Xenos is like, I'm really busy. And he's like, fuck you, Xenos. Yeah, this is that guy, for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Wait, have you done Hell's Lid?
I did not. I got the quest.
Okay.
And they were like, you should definitely go do that. And then I just kept going. I actually still have it on. I'm looking at it right now on my screen. Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Okay, so you did the Drowned City of Scala then in 4.1. That was the only dungeon that you've done thus far.
I think so. Let me just look. I can easily just tell you what I've done.
Yeah. Just because you're talking about dungeons and everything like that.
Yeah, I did the Drowned City of Scala. That was that's the one where you So the plot of that one was
the Mad King. You go to his like the Horde to get the Mad King or whatever, right?
Yeah, you discover that there's secretly probably a bunch of money and wealth hidden in Alamigo, and it turns out that it is underneath in this drowned city that I think was, damn, I don't remember what kingdom was there beforehand. I don't know if they mentioned it, but yeah, you go down there and you defeat the Mad King, who not the Mad King, his children and his family and everyone who he had turned into monsters to guard his treasure, because you know he was a Mad King. And I did that, and then you find a bunch of money, and that's how you end up funding a bunch of stuff and doing things in Alamigo, along with Lolorito, who decides to make the salt that you see all around us into, there's like a salt refinery now here.
Yeah, that quest sucked. If I recall correctly. I don't know why I hated it, but I remember, I don't know.
It's just a lot of running around and doing stuff. I imagine if you had flight, it'd be like infinitely easier, but for me, it was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of like 4.2, jumping back to where we were. I'm trying to remember what the meanwhile was right there. That was
the meanwhile for that one was.
Oh, that was where the doctor checks in on the patient. And then the
the doctor comes to look at Xenos. Yeah.
Yeah. And then 4.3 hits. Now 4.3 and 4.4 are probably my favorite post main story patches. They're just wild. They just it's
so
just,
much occurs.
There's just craziness happening, and a lot of it is just like, wait a minute, okay, oh, all right, okay, oh, I don't know what that means. It's just a lot.
There's
of that.
Truly a lot of that. Yeah. It all kind of blends together.
I can kind of walk us through it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
4.3, Under the Moonlight. The big thing in 4.3 was, of course, the Suyu fight in Castrum Fluminus. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It starts off and Gosetsu is talking to Suyu. And
oh my God!
like
this entire
building.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
This entire scene was incredible.
Yeah.
When you and Alphino and Alice head to go like hey, let's go check in on Gosetsu and Suyu and see what's going on with them. And you walk in and she's feeding him and he's like, oh, you don't need to feed me. I'm a big, strong man. Yeah. And she's like, oh, fine. So you talk to him and then she's like, all right, strip down. And he's like, what? And everyone's like, what? And then he looks at you and he's like,
no.
It's so funny. The best part is Alice is just like, Gosetsu, you dog.
Yeah.
It's so messed up.
Yeah, Alice's reaction's really good there.
And the best part is after everyone's shocked over it, the next scene after it fades to black is you having a conversation, and he's bare-ass naked in the room. Hilarious.
Yeah.
So funny.
I really like that.
I guess we all just were like cool with it. We're like, all right, get naked, old man. Let's wash you down.
Yep. And then right after that is when I think Suyu, they start talking about how, or Gosetsu starts talking about the persimmon, which he can't pronounce.
You mean as they say in the game, persimmon? That was driving me crazy.
Yeah,
it's clearly persimmon, and they were just like, we must find the persimmons, and I was like, what the hell is a persimmon? Is like a Digimon or Pokemon character.
Yeah,
it looks like a purse that stores other Pokemon in it.
Right. Suyu, of course, leaves to try to get one, or leaves the Doman Enclave to get one. The villagers see
everyone thinks she ran, like she has her memory back.
Yeah.
And you go to find her, and she ends up in the village with Orange, who he and his sister are like, or everyone in town. What now?
It was Ise or whatever is Orange.
Ise's the guy. Yeah. And everyone in the village is like, it's her. Oh no. And you and Heian and Yugiri and everyone show up, and you're like, calm down. It's nothing to worry about. And everyone sounds like, kill her. She may not remember what we remember, which is the thing I've been thinking about the entire time. I was like, it's so problematic to keep her in this area. But anyway, everyone's like, you got to kill her. And of course, it takes Issei's little sister to be like, she doesn't remember, dog. Let it go. And then everyone's like, oh, all right.
Yeah, we're good, dude. We're good. Yeah. So that whole scene plays out, and they go back to they go back home, and everything's kind of fine for the most part.
And Asahi is going to be, I guess he's coming soon, because the reason why you went to go find her is because the trade was coming soon, right? And you needed to get her. And so she goes back and is starting to have flashbacks of her former life, and you decide that the best strategy to do before you trade the conscripts for the captives, because the conscripts are probably gonna be freaked out if they see her, is to do a trade-off with her first.
Right.
So that Asahi can see she's not fit to be traded back to the Empire and has nothing that they can gain from it. And he's like, okay, come meet me. And that's when you start noticing that at every meeting he has like these weird boxes with him. And of course you're like, what the hell is this?
He's got a lot of luggage, you know? Just hanging out.
Just so much luggage. And he's like, oh, hey, sister, I brought our parents to see you. And the parents immediately start giving her shit.
God, they're just the worst archetypal characters.
You know what sucks is that I know people who have parents like that.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm like, God damn, like how do you like these people are pieces of shit.
Yeah. I think the father's like, you know, you're not that old. We could go back into the city and we could like sell you for money. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, the mom sounds like every evil villain mother ever in the history of everything. Yeah, so they make her have flashbacks of the parents treating her terribly as a child, and of course, after this, she leaves with her persimmon, or persimmon, and she disappears back into the Enclave. And he's like, "Oh, I guess you're right. I we'll stick around for the rest of the day." And oh, my poor sister. And you're like, "All right, I guess we made it through that." And then, of course, she loses it and runs away again. And everyone's like, we have to find her. Oh, no. And I guess at this point, you
that's when you go
told. No, you're either told that she went to
a servant busts in and basically says like, hey, Suyu's missing. And then you go try to find him. And that's when you find her parents dead.
Dead. That's right. Yeah. You find her parents dead.
And you get to see that
and then you get the flashback about her realizing who she is, and she's trying to kill herself. And then her parents show up and are like, you dumb bitch, what are you doing? And she's like, what?
Just
and the dad literally is just like, good thing you're pretty, we can sell that ass. And I'm like, whoa, this fucking game.
Just
and so and so she murders him and then kills her mom. And you get there as the dad's still dying, and you get to see it all in an echo.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, she knows who she is. So you're right. That's how you know she's back with her brother.
She was evil in that scene. I mean, she was rightfully evil, but like she's fucking evil in that scene, man. She had that little dagger and it's just like, fuck both of you.
She went full anime crazy. It was great.
Yeah.
And then you go to the meeting because Hion's like, look, I still want to get these people, but there are ways out of this that we can look for. So Yugiri and Alphino try to find like a way to sneak people out. And then you go get the pirates in what is literally just like go do some busy work for a hot sec. You go get a boat from the pirates.
I feel like the pirates kind of got shafted throughout the entirety of Stormblood. Like, they just do busy work. They're like, hey, can we have your boats? Like, we need to get across the fucking sea.
And they're like, yeah, all right.
Like, sure, we're pirates. It's fine.
We're like, pirates. If there's something in it for us, we'll do it. And I'm like, all right, they're pirates.
I like them as characters, but I wish we got a little bit more of them for sure.
I feel like they were introduced enough that if there's ever like a big all-out, let's go invade the Empire, we need ships kind of thing, I think that'd be cute.
That's sure.
All the pirates were involved. But there's you go do this one little quest where you meet like a random NPC who's like, my dad was one of the conscripts. Boy, it'd be great if he comes back. And you're like, you're going to be in the background of the final scene of this patch. I can't wait for that. And you go to this meeting, and of course it is all a trap because the boxes contained crystals.
Right.
And essentially the rage of Yotsuyu and the crystals turns her into the moon goddess.
Right.
And she
Great
looks dope.
fight.
She has rabbit ears and shit. It's neat as hell. And then once you beat her, the scene at the end is her brother like coming in to be like, dumb bitch, literally calls her a whore, and then shoots her like a few times in the boob. And then you are just like, I can't believe what's going on. Oh no. And then she grabs him with her blades, like her magic blades.
She fucking impales his ass.
Yeah, stabs him a bunch, lifts him up in the air, and to the point where his teeth are chattering.
Yeah.
He gets killed so badly.
It's brutal. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he dies, and then you have a conversation with her where she's just like, man, Gosetsu shouldn't even have cared about me. And you have to be like, lady, he cared about the other you, and all that shit.
Yeah, and her hair goes all white.
Yeah, we were joking about how it was that, like, my girlfriend became the moon, like that thing from Avatar.
Yeah.
And and so she has a few moments of like humanness at the end, and then she dies, and Gosetsu finds her and is like, oh no. And then a thing happened that I totally didn't see coming, and I think is brilliant writing.
Which was what?
So Gosetsu, and I think I probably mentioned this on a previous video, Gosetsu, when he is in the steppe, he sees the dead, oh god, what are they called?
The moe, or not moe. Jesus Christ.
What I want to say the drawl, maybe, whatever they're called.
I can't think of their names. Yeah, hold on.
The tribe of the lady who loves to fight.
Yes.
A little too much. Like, loves it.
The Nama.
She. The thrall, I think is their
thrall. Yeah, and then
the thrall. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. A lot of names.
When you're there's a lot of them. When you're there, and they're like, "Why do we need to care about that body? It's a dead body," and he wants to bury the body. You have that scene where he talks about how when you're with the tribe, you learn about reincarnation and their beliefs. And Gosetsu's like, man, that seems so nice to be able to like be reborn and get just like a do-over and stuff like that. And he buries the guy, and he talks in a way that I was like, oh my god, they're about to kill this man. I'm so mad. And when he sacrifices himself in in Doma Castle, I was like, well, I knew that was going to happen because they killed him and he was ready to die. And then they did the whole thing. We're like, oh, nope, they're alive. And he now has this, sort of brain damaged young woman with him that he's taking care of. And as you realize that, he lost his daughter and he lost his wife during the war, that when he comes out after the final scenes of this patch, and he shaved his hair, and he now kind of looks like a monk. Yeah, he looks like a monk, and he's like, I'm done fighting. I'm going to go around and offer prayers to, the fallen or people who need them, things like that. And I was like, oh, damn. So what ended up happening, really, is he got to spend some time with a girl who reminded him of his daughter. He got to, like, take this moment to reset himself. And in a way, he was reborn as a different person at the end of this. And I was like, oh shit, they did it. Because, I thought they were just going to kill him. And my big goof was that he'd turn into a dragon and be reborn that way. But in reality, he's now a monk, and he gets to go on this other adventure because he no longer has to fight. He gets to do something else. And I was like, that's so good. That's like really good writing. So I was thrilled by that. I was thrilled that they made that happen.
Yeah, I think the Gosetsu arc with Tsuyu and everything, and culminating in that fight and culminating in him, showing that he is, like you just kind of mentioned, reborn with the haircut symbolizing that, was cool. He is definitely like top 3 characters for me. I think in the game, and probably maybe the best character in the expansion in Stormblood. Definitely up there.
Yeah,
he's just a great character. From the second that you met him on the docks at the end of Heaven's Word, you're just like, all right, this guy's great. This guy's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so thrilled that like a character got a complete arc and it didn't end with him being like, well, now I'm dead.
Right.
He's like, you know what? I'm walking away from all this. Like, you all been great. This has been a lot of fun. I'm going to go find something else to do. And I'm like, you know what, my man, you go do that. I don't even have fun.
Yeah. It's good. It was good. Right after that, we did the Meanwhile in the Empire thing, which is where the resistance, katana wielding resistance soldier stabs the officer and says some stuff. And yeah,
we also got a scene that when we look at the dying Asahi,
right,
we see in him the past where he's brought to the hospital room of Xenos, and he's like, hey, here's the plan. And it basically explains the whole plot of we're going to make it look like the Doman summoned a icon in order to convince the populace of the Empire that the Populare, which I think are like the peace-loving people in the Empire, are totally foolish, and really the other peoples of the world are icon-wielding maniacs. And so they need to attack Doma, for example, and he's trying to make that happen. So while this is going on, I think this is the end of it, the end of the patch. While this is going on, Alphino makes the decision that he's going to go back with
We're just going to go to the Empire, bro. Let's go have a conference. I'm Alphino.
Yeah, he makes this, a very smart Alphino decision that he's going to go back with the Maximus, I think it was his name.
Yeah.
The one guy with glasses.
Yep, the one soldier. The one, yes, correct.
The one guy with glasses who so far seems like a good person, which I figure what they did is they made a guy with glasses around an evildoer so that we would know it's time to move on from the evil glasses people. And so he's like, yeah, come back with me and we'll talk with the Populare and we'll try to get information on what's going on in the Empire. And as you go back, you come under attack. Now, I was like, oh shit, this is real Xenos in his little magic tech, and he's going to take over Maximus's body. I was like, oh my God, he's going to like work his way up the chain of command. But it actually wasn't that at all. It was actual Imperial soldiers actually attacking them. And I guess they were like the Emperor's personal guard. So probably Elidibus Xenos was trying to stop them from coming back.
They're attacked by an Imperial Magitech with no identification markings, is I think what it was.
Well, what is happening is when you go there with Alice and everyone, they're like, oh no, this is the Imperial Guard, is what they end up saying. So it's like the cream of the crop.
Yeah. It's in the next patch. Okay, right.
But what ends up happening is a little scenario plays out where you play as Alphino, which I was like, what? Loved it. Thought it was great.
Yep. One of the first times they start doing that. I love that. I love when you get to do that stuff. It happened in 4.4 and they use it a lot more. And they use it effectively. There are moments of just like full on power trip, like this is incredible type moments where like, you can't do that on your character because if you did, you'd walk into a raid and like effectively have to one-shot the boss, right? Like it's cool to be able to jump into someone else's shoes and have that amount of power, have their powers to do that stuff for sure.
If you don't experience with some of them, like their abilities, it's kind of like, wait, what? Does what?
Yeah.
But thankfully for this.
Yeah, it's a great point. Sorry to cut you off. It introduces you to other classes, which I think is great for people that are just like stuck to one class. It's cool to see that.
Yeah, and when they did it with Y'shtola, I realized that it's kind of the same thing. Like with Alphino, it was a damage attack, a AoE, I think, a heal, and maybe a debuff. I can't remember. And then with Y'shtola in 4.4, it was a damage, a dot, a heal, and then a magic spell. Or like a magic recouping spell. Like a get your mana back spell. And I was like, oh, okay, like once you figure it out, it's fine.
You gotta read.
But at first you're kind of like, what? Like, yeah.
It involves reading. I fell victim to that as well. It's like, oh, this is the ability that I need to do when that's blah, blah, blah. You just got to read a little bit. It happens. So yeah, after that, you fight back and then you meet a person who introduces himself as the Shadow Hunter.
Yes. A dude shows up and he has a bunch of masks on him. He is the Shadow Hunter. He is clearly a Garlean. He has a badass Garlean weapon. He is leading a group of like kind of other badasses, and he is essentially like, I go around and I kill Ascians. It's like, oh damn. He saves you and Maximus and everyone, but the big reveal as he walks away is that he has a bunch of masks on his belt.
Right.
And everyone's like, "Oh, Jesse!" And I truly don't know what I'm supposed to take away from it, except for the fact that he has a white mask that I can't place, but I know clearly it's important because the game literally focused on it. And I was like, but normally I would just go look it up on Google and be like, what are those masks? But because I'm trying to do this as clean as possible, I'm not gonna be that guy.
Good.
So
it will pay off. Trust me.
Yeah. Clearly it must. I have no inkling is where this is going, but it seems like it's introducing in 4.4. The only payoff for this story is that Alphino and Edgelord and his two companions end up back at, I assume, their camp, and everyone is dead. And they were killed by Black Rose, I think is the name of it. Correct. Whatever that quest that you did in the middle of Stormblood, where you discovered that the Empire was experimenting with chemical warfare. And that's sort of what the story got to at this point.
Yeah, correct. I can't say anything else.
Okay, all right.
It is. Yeah, I'm excited for you to have that stuff revealed to you. And I also will say kudos to your chat to not breaking that and spoiling that for you, for sure.
All I do is smile, and it's not helpful, but it's also like, you're like, wait a minute, this must mean a thing. Right. Because they're like, we're smiling, and I'm like, yeah, all right, this is important. I just don't know in what way.
Yeah. Yeah. 4.4 happens after that, and boy, does it get fucking crazy. I don't
remember what actually occurred in normal 4.4 because the last 25 minutes were so insane.
They start dropping so much shit. So in the beginning of 4.4, you guys head to the burn. You get to do a dungeon, a really cool dungeon, I think. You get to fight the Mist Dragon at the end of that. You fight some giant worms and stuff like that. Yeah, it was cool. I like the burn.
We go look for Alphino. Yeah, I forgot. The literal first thing we do is we're like, Alice's like, I've been waiting 3.5 months, which I imagine was the time between patches or something.
Yes.
It's like, where have you been? And she's like, we got to go find Alphino. So through investigation, and I think Real has a special link pearl that you at one point had. Right. It communicates between only the super sneaky people in the Scions.
Yeah.
And
Thancred and them, and yeah.
Yeah, and he discovers that Alphino crash landed somewhere in the burn. You go there, you do the dungeon, you fight the Mist Dragon from, I think, Final Fantasy IV.
Yep.
And
I think, yeah, that sounds right.
I think, I don't. It also could be 6, but I think it's 4. And it's neat. It's a neat area. It's really cool. You go through a giant worm, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yep.
And then apparently, I was supposed to have noticed in the background some giant towers. I did not. But thankfully, the game itself was like, Little, notice some giant towers. Then it shows you a scene, and I was like, yeah, I did. I certainly did. And you decide that what you're gonna do before the big alliance meeting. You have I guess through all these patches, Lisa's been planning this meeting between all the members of the Eorzean Alliance. Plus, they wanted to invite Doma along to sort of like, hey, want to show you what's going on over here?
Yeah.
And Ian's like, I want to start my own alliance. I think that'd be cool. And so, while all this is going on, you're sort of looking for Alphino, and you don't find him, but what you do find are these towers, and you develop a plan with Ian and Lise and everyone that you're like, okay, here's the idea. We're going to block, because the Empire's idiots, they destroyed Dalmasca, and they can no longer refuel there, because I guess it was the refueling station, or that area, their biggest city was their refueling station in the south. So in order to get to the west, in order to get to Doma and Hingashi and all those places, they have to fly over the burn.
Right.
And if they can activate these towers in the burn, they can create sort of an aerial defense system that they can't get through, and they'll be able to hold the Empire at bay while they make their next move. And everyone's like, what a great idea this is. And the entire time I'm like, well, this seems stupid. Like this. And they keep dropping hints that there are like elements are missing from crystals, if that makes any sense. Like, they keep as they keep finding crystals around the world, the elemental properties of the crystals are missing. Like they're being drained or something. So already I'm like, this is not a good sign. And when you're in the burn, you discover that it's Allegan tech that is all these towers and stuff.
Right.
And so I'm like, this isn't smart. And we decide to go down the path of, okay, so our plan is we are going to go to the step where I guess there was a story, like an ancient story about the Nama or someone that very much rings like the Allegans. And now the Allegans probably had a machine there that powered all their technology. And so you go there and in order to get access and mess around in this sacred area, you have to get all the tribes on your side. Wow. Hion's like, bros, I'd love for you all to be in my alliance. And so you have to woo, and by woo I mean beat the shit out of that Dothrall lady.
Somewhere in here at some point, maybe I think before the burn, Y'shtola shows back up.
Yes.
Yeah.
She shows back up and comes along for an adventure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, cut to the fight, which is a great comical relief moment because Y'shtola. Yeah. The reason I brought up Y'shtola is because that entire time in the Azim Steppe, she's just like, I'm fuck. Can you guys just stop? This is so stupid. This is so stupid. At one point she even says she's becoming more like Matoya, which I think is hilarious. Yeah.
She's just like, oh god, I'm becoming like her. Like everything, she's just over it. When the one lady is like, fight me, and she keeps trying to fight you over and over and over again, and it never stops. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And she gets more and more into it. I'm like, lady, calm down. And then of course the guy who's super into her shows up. At Magnai, and he's like,
I love him.
All right, let's fight. And so then you, as Y'shtola, fight him with Hion fighting the other guy who's like his half-naked goon. And that was a cool fight. And then when it's over, the dude, I guess because you, as Y'shtola, beat him up, he falls madly in love with you. And he's like, are you my moon? And the dude, Y'shtola's just like, no, what? No.
Stop fucking doing this. Stop it.
Yeah, she's like, the best part is she's like, get out of here, little son. And of course, everyone makes fun of him. And he's like, little. And it's great. It was a great scene.
I love that scene. Y'shtola's great.
Very good.
What a character Y'shtola is.
Yeah, she's developed into a very sassy character. She clearly learned something from Kryl. And then you go to power up this machine,
right? And
you do so, and everything seems cool, and you're like, yay, we did a thing that automatically seems like there's so many bad ideas happening. And my chat told me I was wrong, but I know I'm not.
Okay. On a theory or what?
Well, through this entire 4.4, the plan is like, all right, we know that there is an Ascian inside Xenos. Like, all of us have agreed as characters that the only way he can be back is if an Ascian's in his body, right? There isn't a pretender. People have seen him. He looks like how he looks. This has to be what it is. And so we make a plan that we need to defeat the Ascians once and for all, because this is the way to go. And as we start developing this plan, and as we mess with this giant machine, whatever the hell it was, I'm not sure I even truly know, in order to power this thing, as crystals around the world are slowly being depleted of elemental power. And I'm not sure if that has to do with this, but it clearly is. My question is, when we use crystals, because Heidelin, for example, when Migersomer, like every time we go around and we defeat an icon, we get like the elemental crystal, and then we had to like recharge the elemental crystals when Migersomer was like, yeah, hey, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I'd have to read up on it.
Sure.
But it feels like there's a lot of similarities, but I don't know what drained crystals out in the wild mean. And if it's related to Allegan tech, everything usually is, or Ascian shit, everything usually is. But whatever the case may be, all I keep thinking about is that dude who's still in Rising Stones, whatever that place is called. that guy who's there, who is literally from the world of darkness, which is a place we've been, and it sucks. And he's like, all of my warriors of light, we all died. I was too weak, and our world got taken over by darkness. And then the world of light guys, Ardbert and all of them, were like, yo, we stomped the hell out of the Ascians, and even shows like a scene where he kills the last one. And he's like, we killed the last Ascian, we defeated darkness, and the light took over and destroyed our world. And that's why he was so, like, yeah, I assume that's why he wanted to join with Elidibus as a way to sort of save his world. And I keep thinking every time that they're like, all right, all we got to do is kill every Ascian and defeat Dark. And I'm like, but wait a minute, that's literally how this other world lost. So I'm so worried that we like are going down a terrible path right now of like, yeah, if we just defeat all of darkness, then we'll be fine, which we've learned is not how this shit works. But chat was like, nah, it wasn't because they defeated the Ascians. Like, it literally said, there's a whole scene where the dude was like, yeah, we killed the last one, and after that, shit went to hell. And so I'm like terrified that that is where we're going. And our dumb asses are like, yeah, once we defeat all darkness, everything will be fine. And I have a feeling this is one of those balanced stories. You know how they do that sometimes? Like, look, man, there's got to be a little dark and a little light in everyone.
They're pulling that shit right now in Destiny, by the way. Fuck that shit. I'm tired. It's pissing me off. Anyway,
I
sorry,
feel like that's
random tangent.
But like it's a trope that they use all the time, right?
Sure,
where it's like
gotta
it's one
find
of those
the
things that it's there's like you have to find balance in life, and it's an easy way to describe it is light and dark. And so I feel like that's a theme we're gonna get to at some point where we saw what happened when the dark won, and it's like a hell world, and we saw what happened when the light won, which is Ardbart, what the hell is his name? Ardbart, whatever. Ardbert. He's the guy who was the warrior of light, and he's like, when the light won, that shit sucked too. So I imagine his world is a hellscape, and but like I don't know what the light version of that is, but I'm sure it's very bright and awful. And then and so he wanted to change things so badly, he sided with the Ascians that he killed. Right? He sided with like people that he hated. And so I imagine that's, the plot is going to lead us towards like, look, bro, it's about a balance. And then, of course, we're now messing with Allegan Tech, and we're doing all these terrible things. Crystals are losing their power, ? And we know what happens when entire worlds, when like a bunch of icons are summoned, because the burn is an example of like what our world would look like if we just let icons run rampant. And so, of course, we're like, all right, well, all this seems good. We've clearly done everything. Let's go meet with all of the leaders. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Have a big old party. Everyone loves those. The game does so well with big old parties. They don't mean anything.
Literally, there's two moments I was like, oh, no, this is going to be bad. The first is when you click a thing, and it's like, several cutscenes will play, and you're like, oh, no. And the next is Nanamo literally is just like,
hello, everyone.
She's like, we haven't gotten together since that fateful party. And I was like, oh, we all gonna die.
So let me ask you this. As we're talking about this dinner party where you're talking about the Eorzine Alliance and all this stuff. Did you expect to happen, or did you expect what happened to happen, or was it just completely caught off guard? In terms of what happens.
You mean when we all got like mind boned?
Sure.
I don't like because at first I thought it was a me thing, right? Because it clearly happened. You see your character. I was like, oh, here's some weird echo shit. But then everyone there had it, and I guess the thought process at the end was that the reason why everyone felt it is because someone was trying to connect to the Scions. And then everyone in the room was hit by the telepathy? I don't know what it is.
To be fair, it wasn't everyone in the room, if you recall.
It was, wasn't it?
It was not.
Ooh, I seem to recall everyone in that room, me, the people that, all the Scions, Admiral Hadi, the Seed Seer, she had it happen. I don't remember Rahoban or Nanamo. I don't remember if the two of them were affected by it, or Heian. I don't remember if he was affected, but I just remember visually seeing the Scions and then those two affected by it.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess in theory you're right, but I don't know. But anyway, what ends up happening is you hear a voice that is like calling out to you, and he needs your and he needs your help with something, and I have no idea who. I don't recognize his voice at all, so I have no idea who it is. And someone's like, "Yo, I need your help." I think that's what I don't remember. I don't remember what he said, but I felt like it was a cry for help. And then Y'shtola is just zonked out. No, wait, hold on. Thancred is zonked out, and you discover, the Seed Seer and like everyone discovers that his soul is missing. Like his soul literally in fact, my next main story scenario quest thing literally is soul searching right now. The man lost his soul. It got sucked out of his body, ? And they're like, we don't know what to do for him. We have no idea what this is. He wasn't poisoned. He wasn't anything. Which, by the way, we all had tea. So I'm just saying, don't drink when you're in parties with Nanamo. And so,
Here, you want me to read you the exact text that is said?
Sure.
All right. So the exact text that happens at this dinner party, at least from the mysterious voice, is that way sorrow. History must be changed. Ahead looms a calamity. Ahead looms light, expunging all form and life. Twin dooms only you can forestall, only you.
That's what set me off on my balance thing. That's exactly what it was. I was convinced that this thing, whatever it was warning us about the path we were going down.
And
right?
then,
the idea that we were going to be like, oh, we're going to kill the Asians, and then this thing's like, light will get you. And I was like, oh.
Sure.
So and that's what set me off. Yeah.
And then Roban and Moralweb both say, what's the matter? And Moralweb says, spies in our midst. She doesn't know what's happening. And Kane-sama says, nay, I sense no such presence. And then the mysterious voice says, let expanse contract, eon become instant. Throw wide the gates that we may pass. And then it's over.
I swear that the scene had the others involved in it too, but maybe I'm wrong. Whatever it was focused specifically on the Scions though. Like it wasn't whoever it was wasn't trying to reach out to the others. It was a Scion. It was like a Scion based attack.
Sure. Sure.
And
I just wanted to get the text exact for you so that you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I still think it's a light balance thing. I think there's something off. That's. I'm excited. I don't know what it could possibly be. It also sounds like it's a future warning. So is this like I'm reaching to you back from I'm in the future and I'm reaching to you to tell you don't do this? I don't know. And then you and your crew go back to tell Urianger, and you're like, yo, dude, it's messed up. And then you get hit again with another psionic blast. And this time, Urianger and Y'shtola go down.
Right.
And he says something about the gates again, which chat lost their mind because they kept repeating it. And I was like, that's probably a thing. I was like, that probably means something.
Sure.
And yeah, then Alice got all messed up over the fact that she watched all of her friends get taken out and lose their souls, plus her brother's missing. And so myself and good old Hori Boulder had to be like, girl, we gotta keep moving on. And so
Hori Boulder, like, what a G. What just a nice guy, you know?
I get why that one girl wants to jump his bones so badly. Oh my god. Every time she's like, there are two of them now? I was like, lady, calm down.
Sure.
And yeah, that's I think where that patch ends, except for one last scene, which is the Donker.
You had to go visit Gabu.
Oh, I forgot. That was so sweet.
Yes, a very touching scene.
Yeah, you go back and visit Gabu, who has lost a lot of stuff too. And Alice and Gabu have a moment. And even though Gabu still can't talk, like he keeps looking at Alice like he wants to say a thing. And I was like, oh, I need more Gabu story. Then shit gets fucking
crazier.
So we get a scene.
Meanwhile,
where
the Empire.
Meanwhile, in the Empire, we get a scene where Xenos is talking to Varys, and he's giving him shit, and he's like, "This is my evil plan. Like, we're gonna go start a war, baby. I'm so excited." Which, by the way, the entire time I've been like, I've been waiting for the aftermath. You know, like there clearly has to be a thing. Like the Empire clearly has been. You know, you don't just take 2 Imperial territories and them not attack you. So I'm waiting for, you know, this. I imagine whatever happens is going to end up with a fight at some point. So I'm very excited for that. And he like walks off like, I'm going to go start a fight. And then from behind the throne appears this sort of white, black-haired dude. There's like a black hair with like some white streaks in it. And he is as flamboyant as anything in this entire game. And he basically, I guess, is supposed to be the power behind the throne. And then about halfway through the scene, they're like, oh, yeah, this is Solus, who I believe is the very first emperor.
It's the Emperor's grandfather and the founder of the Empire.
Yeah, so it is the very first emperor. And the guy who, I guess, what we learned from the Ivalice mission story is that he is like super into theater. He's the one who founded all the theater troops. So I guess that's why he's supposed to be very like, I'm acting, which I love. And immediately he's like, well, you know, when you're an Ascian, I was like, whoa. And then they're like, yeah, you know, Ascians, we founded the Empire because we're trying to cause a calamity, which is what Hydaelyn was like, yo, you guys got to stop these calamities because one more and we are done. And I guess the idea is that the Ascians are purposefully trying to do it. For what goal? I imagine it's a Zodiac kind of thing, but I don't understand why. And he's like, yeah, I made the Empire because it's just easier to get evil done when you're a big-ass empire.
I think reading from this recap and my memory of it combined, it says the Empire's entire purpose is to carry out a single goal of maintaining the balance of light and dark in the world. And that's all that they should be worried about.
Interesting. See, there's the balance again. I basically, he like kind of mocks Elidibus because he's like, Elidibus has ever been this guy who, you know, he's doing what Elidibus does, but I do what I do. And I'm not sure that Elidibus knows that Solus is alive and that, I don't know, but Solus is just like, you know, us Ascians are evil. And he kind of mocks his son, and then Varys guns his ass down. And then
just shoots him out of nowhere.
And it's a great scene. And he's like, don't tell me what to do, granddad. And then the camera pans over, and he's just like alive again. And he's like, bro, come on, not even cool. You're wasting my time and yours. And then there's just, I guess he, because he's an Ascian, can just switch bodies, which means he has clones? ? And so, another exact copy of him is there. And he's just like, come on, dude. And, you discover that the person really running the Empire is the same guy who's been running it from the beginning. And his grandson is the guy who's sort of a puppet right now while he does his machinations in the background. And I was like, well, that's crazy as shit. And that came out of nowhere, blew my mind, and I was like, oh, all right. I couldn't tell you where this story goes from here. Couldn't even possibly tell you what it all means. Couldn't tell you what is gonna, like, how all the stories are gonna converge of missing souls, plus the Ascians who are like running the Empire, plus this story of Xenos, plus this story where Alphino's on his own side quest. I couldn't tell you how all 4 of these stories kind of like converge, but I know that the way the last 2 expansions have been, it won't be by the end of 4.5. It'll be one of those things where in 5.0 we'll like move back and forth between things. I think. I don't know. Because that's just how they did it in the past 2 expansions, where they didn't wrap up the story. They created new stories, and then we're like, all right, we'll continue this in the next expansion. So I think that's what's going to happen. So I don't expect an ending, but I do expect to something crazy to happen to the point where, you know, the last 2 expansions have been Nanamo possibly dead and the Scions disbanded and maybe dead as well. And then the wall battle and a new super deadly robot Omega and an even crazier Icon that both now have been, like, a war is about to break out between the Empire and the Eorzean Alliance. And so that's like the big inciting incident of Stormblood. And so I imagine whatever's about to happen in the next, I think you said I had 6 quests. In the next 6 quests, something crazy is going to happen. And I'm super amped for it. I'm ready. I'm hyped for this to happen.
So if you were playing at the same time as everyone else, at this point, like if you were playing 4.4 and 4.5 was getting ready to be launched, you would know that the title of the patch is called A Requiem for Heroes.
Interesting. I mean, hopefully that means it's just, you know, a nice poem or singing and not at all dead hero. Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue what is going to happen. I'm excited though. Everyone tells me that it's going to be crazy. You repeatedly told me I'm never going to want to put the game down. I'm like, ready. I'm hyped. I'm more excited to see what the hell this cinematic's going to be.
Oh, Jesse Cox, the cinematic, I still watch a fair amount. In fact, sometimes I'll just boot up Final Fantasy, go get a drink, and come back, and it'll just be middle of the thing. I'm just like, ah, yes, that's okay. That's correct.
Yeah.
The interesting thing too is they released the way that the cutscene was teased is it was over multiple fanfares because they would do different, or fan fest, I should say, because they would do a North American fan fest, a European fan fest, and then I think a Japanese fan fest. And
yeah, I heard there was an American, European, and a Japanese.
Yeah, so each time they did one of those, they would lengthen and add things to the cutscene. And each time they would add things.
What does that mean?
And lengthen the cutscene. It was more just like what the actual. Like, I still remember watching that, just be like, "Chat, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen." Like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay. Yeah, I've been spoiled a little bit in that every so often when I'm talking over the intro, the cutscene starts and it looks like a hellscape. So I imagine I'm expecting things to end badly. Every time it starts for a little bit before I can press escape to go back to the menu.
Sure. Yeah.
It looks like an utter hellscape, and I'm like, oh, all right. So something's gonna happen. Yeah. So I'm very excited for whatever that means.
It's very good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited to see what the hype is about. But more importantly, I'm excited that every story so far has had a payoff. So I know going into this expansion, like every story, there's never been a story in this game where they're like, we dropped that plot line, or it's not important, or we kind of just like fudge the ending of it. Everything gets its moment, even if it's like a 15-minute cutscene where you're like, well, I didn't need this, but like at least they did it. Yeah, I'm excited to see all the threads, because I know that we have 4 main plot points that I'm concerned about moving into the next expansion. And I'm pretty sure all 4 will be resolved by the end of 5.0. And then a few things might be like added to it. It might be like, well, you know, we didn't get all the answers about this thing, or there's some like a thread we haven't pulled on. And then that would be 5.1 and 5.2 probably. And usually what ends up happening, because I'm excited for everyone else, because I won't get there, obviously, but I heard that 5.4 is coming soon.
Yep,
in December.
That'll be in December, yeah.
And so I started playing when 5.3 came out. So
yeah, finish your thought, please.
Oh, I've seen how long it takes for 5. Whatever to happen, and I'm curious based on my previous expansions in this game. It seems like whatever story is in Shadowbringers, you've probably wrapped up most of the main story by now, which means 5.4 is going to be the start of whatever comes next. So I'm really excited to see everyone's reactions to whatever comes next, because I imagine it's going to be, you know, if what people said. I haven't read the article, but I was talking with someone about it. Apparently, maybe it was you. Apparently, the next expansion is the last of this story arc.
It's either the next one or the one after that. It's either 6.0 or I think 7.0 would be the. I think it is 7.0 is the start to a new arc.
Yeah,
I think is what I read, or they said, or something like that.
So whatever the story arc for this whole thing, whatever all the stuff we're doing, culminates in 6.0's overall story, right? So whatever that expansion is, it's gonna be fucking crazy, right? Because it's like the Empire Strikes Back of video games. It's, you know, everything we've been doing. Because really, if you look at Empire Strikes Back, it's just one long battle scene. Really, there's like a few things. Like we got to go to Jabba's palace really quick, but the rest of it, one. So I imagine whatever 6.0 is, it's going to be badonkers.
Yeah.
And so I imagine the start of, did I say Empire Strikes? I meant Return of the Jedi. If I said Empire Strikes Back, is what I meant. I meant Return of the Jedi.
I thought
it just hit me. I was like, did I say Empire? Yeah, whatever happens, I imagine will start in 5.4, right? I imagine
that's hopefully.
Or it's like the beginning. I mean, maybe there's a few things to wrap up, but I imagine you're about to experience something new.
Having played 5.3, it is, you know, following the formula. It is the end to Shadowbringers, essentially.
Yeah,
they wrap up the majority of the story there. And so, yeah, 5.4 will probably be whatever the next thing is, or at least an inkling of whatever the next thing is.
Yeah, I meant like
it's weird to talk about. We'll most likely have this very same discussion when you finish 5.3 or when you finish 5.4, depending on the time. Because, like,
sure,
I feel like Shadowbringers was is such a monumental thing. And this is going to sound very hyperbolic for people that haven't played it, but I would think most people agree with me that have played it. It is such a monumental thing for storytelling in MMOs that they're going to try and hopefully emulate what it did in the next patch. And I don't know how they're going to do that because of the theme and everything that happens in Shadowbringers. Right? Like, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. I don't know. And so we'll definitely have that discussion, and I'm very much looking forward to it when you finish Shadowbringers, because it's a fucking thing. It is I like your little dance as well. It is
thank you. It is
an absolute thing. And I would say some people would even go outside. They would unchain the idea that it's, you know, an amazing story in MMOs and just say it's an amazing story. Because I would agree with that. But yeah, it is my one wish, and I know this won't reach your entire audience, but I hope it does, is I hope that they give you, it's very hard to say this without spoiling stuff. I hope that they give you the space to experience it how everyone else experienced that patch, or that story. If that makes sense. People that have played it, hopefully they'll hear that and listen in, but we'll see what happens.
I don't know what that means, but all right. Well, hopefully they do. Hopefully they understand.
It's the type of thing where, you know, have you finished or you've gotten to other areas and there's been a billion people around you and it's been like, sure, welcome, that type of stuff. I feel, and I think a lot of other people feel, that that would actually hurt the experience of the expansion. Granted, maybe you love that stuff. That's on you ultimately at the end of the day. But for me, it's
they're not going to want to be around this little bad boy. Look at this.
Look at that guy.
Oh my God! Look at that weapon.
Look at this. Hold on.
Chink. Oh yeah, they want to be around this little bad boy.
This.
Oh, look at us. We're badasses.
This is the paladin weapon, though. You have the Dark Knight. I have a shield as well, but it's
Also, yours is black, which seems awkward.
It's true.
Well, why wouldn't mine be black? Why I got a little gray one?
I don't know.
Man, it's over here trying to make me a fool.
Anyways, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm excited that you haven't been spoiled thus far, and I hope that continues. Your chat does and has done a very good job the entire time that you've played to not answer things and to not spoil you for it. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I am curious, what's your /play time now?
Oh my god.
How long has it taken to get to this point?
20 days, 15 hours, 39 minutes.
So what is that, 480 hours?
I don't know, but I started playing at the beginning of August.
Oh, it's like 500 hours then.
Yeah. So that's,
Jesus, 500 hours. Holy shit. You also played a lot before. Do you idle somewhere? That's a lot. What the fuck?
No. I just have I have a lot of levels in different characters.
Yeah, that's a lot. Holy shit.
I did hit like a burnout phase the other day where I was just like, I just want to do story. I don't want to just keep leveling characters.
Yeah.
So I feel good about it, where I was like, oh my god, I leveled so many things up to 70 that now it's at that point where the 70 to 80 leveling is really slow. And so I imagine I have to do the next expansion to speed that process up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hit it where I'm like, I got my Dragoon to I guess I got my Red Mage to 80 just because I was doing everything with my Red Mage. But I got my Dragoon to 71 and I was like, getting to 72 sucks. Like, this takes forever. So
yeah, you'll I think when you hit 80, you definitely do get more XP on your alt jobs or like other non-80 jobs. So that'll get sped up. And
I was told that that's when you get to you actually have to be in the next expansion though. I think that's what someone told me, because everyone's like, oh yeah, your other jobs will level up real fast. And I was like, oh cool. I was like, I see no difference. And someone was like, I think you have to actually be in the expansion. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, huh. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's when you finish like 5.0 or something. I'm not sure what the prerequisite for that is. So yeah. Well, I'd ask you where you think you're going, but I feel like you kind of already put that. You have no idea.
Have a clue. Couldn't even begin to tell you, but I'm flipping. I'm flipping excited.
Are you gonna stand by not entering into Shadowbringers till your dark is 70?
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna get this guy up to 70. So I'll do.
What are you at right now? 56. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do 4.5. My plan is to do 4.5, and then all the people were like, "Oh, there's other things to do." And maybe it's smarter to do those things first, right? Like do the I'm told there's raid things, and I know there's other dungeons that I haven't done yet.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of dungeons.
Those before 4.5.
There's the Four Lords, which is I'm not gonna say what those are. I guess you'll experience that, but it is some fights that you haven't seen that has story tied to it. But it's I'm trying to think like story stuff that's tied to it.
I would imagine, based on you saying the Four Lords, it's I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I was gonna guess that it was either
know, to be honest.
Yeah. I was gonna say it might be Empire, but that doesn't make any sense. And it could be the only thing that I think is gonna happen is there's the plot line that hasn't been really addressed yet. They keep saying it, where Heian and I think it was Justola and everyone was going around trying to find artifacts that had icon related shit to them. I feel like that's probably a thing. When everyone's like, oh, there's more raids, I was like, is it that? But I don't know what Four Lords means, but it could just be like the 3 statue people, whatever they were called.
3 statue. Oh, from Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, the ones that we fought.
Yes. Okay, that's right. Yeah, it is of that style of content, is what I would say.
Excellent.
Yeah, not necessarily like theme and all that stuff, but I'm saying it's like 8-man fights.
Great.
With story tied to it.
Totally down. Yeah, those are always fun. I fail miserably, and then sometimes I don't, and then sometimes, like with the Moon Rabbit lady, I like somehow managed to figure out what to do. I'm like, oh, okay. And then She's somehow completely, I in some way did the exact thing I needed to do, and then the next time completely failed it, which means I don't know what I'm doing. by the way, but it was fun.
Yeah, you need to do, in terms of actual dungeons, you need to do Temple of the Fist. If you haven't done
I have that quest. Yeah.
Hell's Lid is one you haven't done.
I have that quest.
Fractal Continuum Hard, which you haven't done yet.
No, but I have done,
The Swallow's Compass.
Ooh, I don't know what the hell that is. I have,
That's a really good dungeon.
Saint Mosian's Machian.
Arbitorium. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one, that hard mode. I was like, oh wait, I go back to Heaven's Ward areas. I was like, oh, that's neat. So I think that's cute that they did that. It was a hard mode for, like, I guess the idea is that time had passed in that dungeon, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. And then you need to do question mark, which I'm not gonna say the name of or anything about it. But man, also a fun fact about question mark. The final fight of that dungeon features the new boss music from Shadowbringers.
Oh shit! Okay, so did you guys not ever know about? Were you not aware of what that was?
What that song was?
Like, did you not? Yeah, were you not aware of the? Did you know it was new music for the next expansion, or were you just like, oh, cool music?
I don't know if they announced it. I think I got into it and was like, wait a minute, this is new music, and then I kind of like freaked out.
Interesting.
And you know they do everything and as they did in Stormblood, where the quest acceptance music is different and all that stuff is very much different. They even changed the just general fight music. Like just walking up and attacking a random mob is different music.
They seem to do that every expansion, I think, or they change things up a little bit. Even the quest sound is different.
Yeah, so it's a good one. I like this zone a lot. I hadn't been in this zone in a while, and it's a good one. It's very pretty. Did you ever see the rare fate that Ixion? Did you ever get Ixion to spawn in here when you've been online?
No. It drops a mount, right?
Yeah, it does. It drops Ixion the mount. I don't know when they usually have timers on this shit somewhat, but I haven't seen it spawn in a while. So, anyways, the next time we talk, I fully assume that you will be in the world of Shadowbringers, engrossed in Shadowbringers.
It's my little boy, yay!
Oh yeah, this guy right here.
Can I tell you, I really, more than anything, wanted him to be a part of my team.
Yeah,
I was like, what if they just let him be my friend? And then they were like, no, bro, he's got to go experience the world himself. And I was like, oh, my boy.
Have you seen him anywhere yet?
I have not. People, you know what else I learned? Not only can you see Alpha in random places, but apparently crazy evil ghost lady shows up at nighttime in cities.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, yeah, she gets a random chance of just spawning. And I was like, oh, hell no. So
Edna, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. And people were showing me photos, and I was like, I don't ever just want to be walking around and see her just appear in like a lamp or something. I'd be like, nope, I'm out.
Wait a minute.
This game is cursed.
If it starts storming and I literally just mentioned Ixion.
Is that a sign?
Wait a minute. Was there any spam message?
Sign?
I don't know. I don't know what the trigger is, but it's usually he might. Oh, hold on. Did you get all your things here, by the way? All your Aether currents?
I got all the ones you can travel for. I have quests I have to do still.
Oh, okay. Here, get on. Let me go see if people are teleporting in here, because if he just spawned, that's actually fucking hilarious. Let's go see if people are teleporting in, and then we'll wrap the video up.
I'm a child in the front seat.
Indeed.
Where does he spawn?
I think his spawn is all the way to the north, but if he's here, he'll be porting in. I think he actually has some like zone music or some zone text when he spawns in. It's been a while. It's been years since I've seen it.
The King's Grave. I see that over there.
It
Tall
looks
Tale.
Like he's not spawning in. This person just got
Oh, it's just rain, huh?
Yeah, I guess it is just rain. That's unfortunate.
Sure, it's just rain.
I think he spawns up here. We'll go check real quick.
On this one section of the map, I definitely don't have.
Yeah, the Royal Hunting Grounds. Oh, look at that thing. That's Luminary.
Yeah, those little guys are so cool.
Let me actually ask, what is the spawn weather for Ixion like? And I'm asking our FC.
Sure, there's a bunch of weird creatures here, but
yeah,
uh-oh.
Creeping Adelia.
Yeah.
I think this guy's camping here for the spawn. Whoops. Well, I guess we're good. I guess it's not here. We'd have a shit ton of people porting in. There's like people that watch all this stuff. Purple lightning everywhere.
Our lightning's considerably blue.
Isn't? I guess it is. You know, I could probably just Google this. Let's see. Ixion spawn
Where's the fun
weather.
in that?
When Ixion spawns, the weather in zone becomes quick 11. Spawn time of this fate is around 36 to 72 hours. Where does he spawn?
Ancelot's Fear.
It's
King
very
Gray.
purple. I think he might be spawned. Top right corner of the map. A weather circle and it'll look blue. Top right corner of the map.
The weather circle will look blue. This one's definitely purple. Is it not a fate? Is it just he shows up?
Yeah, I think it's just he shows up. Maybe he's not here. We're gonna I'm gonna look like a fucking fool in this video.
It's fine. We're going on an adventure.
Where is it at? Top right hand corner of the mini map. Oh, the mini map. Oh, it just says thunderstorm. So that would say quick 11. So this is just a normal thunderstorm. Okay. All right. Jesus. That was just too like fortuitous for that to be a thing.
You got me off of that top of that tower. I would have been stuck up there.
Oh yeah, that's true. Here's some bogeys.
That would have been bad news.
Look at those things. Terrifying. Do you remember these things from 11?
I do.
Whoa.
I do remember those.
Terrifying.
I love how they use a lot of the same models. I think it's really cute.
Yeah. Look at that person. Pumpkin.
Except for this guy right there.
Oh yeah. The Chelion. Have you seen that mount?
Yeah, it's cute. That it like spins around like Gemara.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, we've been talking for almost 2 hours.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, it's an hour and 40. That's what happens in Final Fantasy. It's a time waster. It's a time sucker.
It got me. It got me again.
Let's. I'll take us back to the house. We can.
Good, because I got to go see Chloe about some experience points.
Oh boy. Oh, did you know when I was doing all that stuff with you last week, I never even like finished up on it.
I did not finish it either, and I finished it earlier today, like a big idiot.
Yeah.
So now I just remembered. I was like, oh yeah, and I realized
You get a lot of XP. Yeah.
Yeah, I think can I turn it in with my Dark Knight?
Probably, yeah. Well, yes, because Heaven's Ward is 50 to 60, and you're 56, right?
I'm about to go see this girl and be like, Chloe, give me that experience.
I'm talking to my retainers here on stream. Oh my God, pinch it. I think that might stop for a lot. Oh my God. This is what I do. I just log in and do my retainers all the time. It's great.
That's because you have 800 of them.
I do have a lot of retainers. I've been desynthesizing stuff. That's been fun. Been making the money. I've made in the past month. I've bought a bunch of stuff, but I'm at 10 million gil right now.
Oh my God.
Been making that money. It's been nice. Been enjoying it. We gotta end this thing. Jesse Cox, good luck. Godspeed.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will be in the stream most likely for 4.5 and yeah, I will repeat. I hope that the chat gives you a little bit of space, at least in the beginning of the expansion. And then, you know, they can carry on. I like a lot of the goofs. The goofs are great. That do exist, but beginning of that expansion is special. So be careful out there, everyone. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Stay inside. Don't go outside. It's terrible. It's terrifying. Jesse,
Careful, everyone.
Yeah. That'll do it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll do another one of these sometime, probably during the middle of Shadowbringers, and see what Jesse's thoughts are so far. If you have not already caught it, I think the VODs are all still up from your Final Fantasy stream. Did you delete any of that stuff?
No, what I did is all the VODs that were from over the however many, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is, I made them highlights and took out anything that was pre or post show stuff. So it's literally just me playing. You can look at chat, be crazy, and yeah, all those VODs are slowly going away, so I can replace them with highlights so they won't get come after.
There you go.
Yeah,
and I think
they're all there.
A lot of people have also clipped some of your reactionary moments for a lot of stuff as well. So if you just want to see
there are many clips.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So that'll do it. Thank everyone, or thanks, not thank, Jesus. Thank everyone, Jesse. Please thank the people.
Thank you, people.
Thanks everyone for watching. This is almost a 2-hour thing. I feel like these are only going to get longer as we get more and more into Shadowbringers, which
out of control.
It's fine.
Out of control.
It's fine. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your night. Bye-bye.
Bye.